Hey everyone, welcome to AMC Movie Talk for movie fans. I'm your host, Ashley Mova, and this is the daily show where we give you all the latest movie news, plus insight into what it all means. Joining us as always, AMC Movie News Editor-in-Chief, John Campea.
Greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome to AMC Movie Talk, coming to you from the Stream.TV studios here in Hollywood, California. And hey, before I throw it over to Schnepp, I just want to say a happy birthday out to somebody, Justin, who is our social media manager at AMC Movie News here. He is actually the guy who recruited me to come and work for AMC years ago, and we want to wish him a happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Justin. And also here, writer-director Jon Schnepp.
Happy birthday, Justin. Can't sing the whole thing. I'm sick, so my voice is going to be a little scribbly.
Why don't you drink some water, yo?
Hey, fat dude, why don't you drink some water, son? Check it out. Let me clear my throat a little bit. Gonna drink some water.
All right, listen, before we go on with the show, I want to make a little bit of an announcement because, you know, a lot of times we have things going on. I encourage you, hey, go see this movie or go see that movie. But I don't know if in the history of being here at AMC, I've actually asked you to do something. And there's something I'd love for you to partner with us on and do. As many of you are aware, there was a recent natural disaster, basically, typhoon hitting the Philippines. And it's just an absolute mess over there, and I'm kind of partial to that because my wife is Filipino. I have family over there, and I've seen a lot of the pictures and things going on. So, you know, as a big group of sweaty movie nerds that we are a pretty useless bunch most of the time, really.
Well, when it comes speak for yourself.
When it comes to contributing to society, but you know, a bunch of us got together here at AMC Movie News. We said, what can we do to try to make a difference? And so, what we have done is we have launched a campaign to raise money for the Red Cross and typhoon disaster relief in the Philippines. And you can see the URL right below us. It's at AMC Movie News Philippines. It's actually at crowdrise.com/AMC Movie News Philippines. That's where you can go and you can make donations. We're going to be taking donations over the next few weeks. And then on January 2nd, we are going to be doing a 24-hour live streaming movie talk telethon, or marathon, I'm going to say, not telethon, marathon, where we're going to talk and live stream for 24 hours. You know, I ran it by the AMC movie staff, and they were all like, yep, sign us up, sign us up, sign us up. Because it's not often that as a bunch of sweaty movie nerds that we get a chance to make a difference. So you can go anytime to this URL that you see down there and start making donations now. We would love for you to go and contribute, and then we're going to culminate that on January 2nd with our 24-hour movie talk marathon. So we will hope that you will join us then. Thanks for listening.
Major news broke last night for the Spider-Man cinematic universe. Sony Pictures announced that the studio is now in active development of 2 new Spider-Man spin-off films. The first will be a Venom movie to be written by the writing teams of Alex Kurtzman and Robert Orci, along with Jeff Pinkner with Kurtzman to direct, and a Sinister Six movie to be written and most likely directed by Drew Goddard, who recently wrote and directed Cabin in the Woods. Along with Ed Solomon, Kurtzman, Orci, Pinkner, and Goddard, with producers Avi Arad and Matt Tolmach, have formed what Sony is calling their Brain Trust to oversee and expand the Spider-Man cinematic universe. John, what do you think of all this?
Ambitious. This is ambitious. Now, we talked a few weeks ago that it looked like Sony wanted to get into the cinematic universe game, right? Fox has got their X-Men and Fantastic Four cinematic universe. Marvel's obviously got their Avengers cinematic universe. They wanted in on this game. And we speculate. We're like, okay, so what do they do? Do they Black Cat? Do they whatever? I mean, maybe a Venom as a dark hero kind of thing, but they probably won't want to do. It looks like they're doing straight up villain movies, which we have not seen yet. So this is actually a pretty creative step. And I got to tell you, I love the team they have on this. I'm a big fan of Kurtzman and Orci. They've turned in a couple of stinkers, yes, but I also really like what they've done for a lot of their other projects. Kurtzman is actually, to me, I think he's turning into a really nice little director at the same time. Goddard, Cabin in the Woods. A lot of people make the mistake. Whenever you mention Cabin in the Woods, people think, oh, yeah, that movie Joss Whedon directed. Joss Whedon didn't direct Cabin in the Woods. He wrote it with Goddard, but then Goddard directed it. And Goddard's also a really good writer in his own right. He wrote World War Z. He did the rewrites on the scripts for that. He wrote the script for Robopocalypse, which was supposed to be the next Steven Spielberg film, but that's got canned. So it looks like Goddard's going to do the Sinister Six movie. This is really, once again, I'm going to go back to that word. This is ambitious. because now they got Spider-Man 2 and 3 already on the books, and they've already announced they're going to do 4. They're going to have a Venom standalone, a Sinister Six stand. What on earth is a Sinister Six standalone going to be? How do you do a Sinister Six film? I don't know. But I got to tell you, if Sony's purpose in putting out this press release at like midnight last night was to pique our interest, I'm peaked. I'm completely peaked. You know what? Bravo, Sony. This is something we haven't seen yet before, and this is really cool. Maybe it'll suck, but I applaud you for being willing to step out of the comic book movie comfort zone and do something like this. I'm really curious to see how this turns out. What do you think, Schnepp, when you saw this?
Well, I think we were all expecting Venom, but to see a Sinister Six as a title for a movie and know that it's the Spider-Man Sinister Six is weird. It's straight up weird to me. It's like, I mean, I don't think it's not I think it's a cool idea. I mean, it took me a minute to be like, so wait, Spider-Man's not going to be in it? We don't know that. Maybe Spider-Man is going to be in it, but maybe it's more going to be around the origins of the Sinister Six.
Right.
I kind of doubt it's going to be about the Sinister Six banding together like the Expendables to take on a bigger villain.
Yeah, no, I don't see that happening.
I don't know, but then you have, you have Cabin in the Woods, like, the closet full of like 6,000 monsters. He can obviously deal with a lot of different kinds of villains. So, I don't know. I mean, it's weird to me. I'm gonna have to see which Sinister Six is it the Sinister Six that they're developing through the Spider-Man franchise?
It seems like
it seems like it's gonna be those guys. Is it going to be this original lineup? Is Mysterio going to be in there? Sandman? Are they going to go with the superior Spider-Man where Doc Ock becomes Spider-Man and then the Sinister Six are fighting a version of Doc Ock? I think that might be too weird.
I think that'd be going a little
But
bit
I mean,
too
Marvel
far.
now is like, they've got all these villain comic books going on right now where they're really like highlighting the villains as the main characters. In all of the different franchises of Marvel's characters, they have villain spin-offs. So this is kind of an interesting turn for them to do this. It also makes sense because they don't have the wide variety of characters that Marvel or DC has. They have Spider-Man and his Rogues Gallery, so they're trying to milk everything for what it's worth. I hope they're going to milk it right,
Yeah, I mean, you're right. They have less to work with, but it looks like they're trying to make the most out of what they got.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you, if this works, and like I said, I don't know that this is going to be good. This might be terrible, but I really applaud the effort that they're putting in, because if this works, if they're able to do a Sinister Six movie and really make it work, you're looking at a whole new sub-genre of the comic book things, where you're going to start to see Marvel putting out villain movies. You're going to see a Loki standalone film. You're going to see a Red Skull standalone film. If this all works, you're going to see, well, they've already kind of done a Magneto standalone film in many ways, but you're going to see Fox do comic book villain films. If this works, I think everybody's going to be sitting back and watching very closely and with a lot of interest to see how this turns out, because this could change the landscape of comic book movies.
Sure.
All right, what's next?
The first official logo for the upcoming Christopher Nolan film Interstellar has hit the web, which you can see here. Interstellar chronicles the adventures of a group of explorers who make use of a newly discovered wormhole to surpass the limitations on human space travel and conquer the vast distances involved in an interstellar voyage. Interstellar hits AMC theaters everywhere on November 7th. Schnepp, what do you think about this logo and the description for Interstellar?
Well, I mean, I love the description for it, but the logo reminds me is like, where's Dr. Roxo? He got some sniffing to do. That's when it just, sorry, that's exactly what it looks like to me. It doesn't remind me of outer space.
Thank you very much. I did not see that before, and now that's all I'm going to see when I look at this picture. Thanks a lot.
Outer space! Yeah, I mean, I can't wait to see the movie, but my nose is running now, so. Damn it, now all I see is cocaine when I look at it. It's supposed to be wondrous science fiction, No, it's cocaine now. I like the description. It sounds, correct me if I'm wrong, it may sound a little bit, if you told me that the title of this film was Stargate, and you read that description, it would kind of fit, right? Yeah, it would.
It sounds a little Stargate-ish, but it is a really neat idea. I've been waiting to watch Christopher Nolan after seeing Inception, and how he handles what I call fantasy science fiction in many ways. I've been looking forward to seeing him do full-out sci-fi. Let's see what Christopher Nolan can do and stretch himself a bit. And the description sounds like something that would really work for a guy with Nolan sensibilities. So I think this sounds pretty cool, so I'm all for it. All right, folks, listen, we've reached that part of the show called Buy or Sell. Here's how this works. In front of her, Ashley's got a few other items in the world of movie news. She's going to run them down, and then Schnepp and I are simply going to say whether we buy it or sell it. So, Ashley, what do we got?
Director Joe Wright, who has directed such films as Hannah, Pride and Prejudice, and Atonement, has just landed a release date for his upcoming Warner Brothers Peter Pan origin movie, Pan. Pan will hit AMC theaters on June 26, 2015, the same day as the comedy Ted 2 is set to open. On a side note, Columbia Pictures is also working on their own Peter Pan origin movie, tentatively titled Neverland, with Channing Tatum producing. John, buy or sell the release date for Joe Wright's Pan?
You know, at first I thought I was going to sell, but I'm going to buy it. It's not wise to open against what is sure to be a big hit film. Ted 2 is going to be a big hit film, but this is demographically going to be a very different type of film. So I think it's going to add a really nice choice for that weekend that it opens. I don't think it's going to suffer too much because no matter how big Ted 2 is, because it's going to appeal to a slightly different audience. And, you know, the idea of seeing an origin story for Peter Pan is kind of a cool idea to see how they're going to evolve that, what their take on this world is going to be. Once again, one studio does something, another studio is going to do it too. So right. we'll just leave that for now. But overall, I think I'm going to buy this.
Yeah, I'm going to buy it. I mean, you know, the concept of Dark Pan or whatever is a darker version of Peter Pan, you know, I mean, I'm just going to have to see the execution.
Because the original book is quite violent. Very violent. Like, he kills a lot of pirates.
As long as it's not like Robin Williams' Hook, you know. I just need like a different spin. So if he's going to bring a little bit of that Hannah flavor to it, then I'm buying it. And it's not exactly, yeah, you're right, it's not exactly counter-programming to Ted. Like, I didn't get into Ted 2, I'm going to go see Pan.
Right.
It's not going to be on their mind, but it's. I think it's good for, like, you know, if somebody doesn't want to see Ted 2 right away, or they're just in the mood to see a different kind of film, this might fit that bill. So.
All right, what's next?
The Hobbit, The Desolation of Smaug is in AMC theaters now, and just in time for the release, Warner Brothers have put out one final poster for the film, which you can see here. Schnepp, buy or sell this final poster for The Hobbit, The Desolation of Smaug?
I buy it. It looks great. I'm going to see The Hobbit this weekend at some point. I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait. So I'm buying it 100%. I don't know if I'm buying that poster, but I will digitally look at it several more times.
I am, oddly enough, I'm going to sell it. I don't like the poster.
Really?
The movie's awesome, by the way. I'm going to go see it for a second time tonight at the AMC Dine-In Theater, as a matter of fact, in Marina Del Rey, which is by the way, folks, if you got an AMC Dine-In Theater near you, I've worked for AMC for almost 5 years, all right? I went to a dine-in theater for the very first time, like 4 or 5 weeks ago. Blew my mind. It's such a different movie. If you live near one, go to one. But I'm going to go see this movie tonight. It's an amazing film. I love it. Our spoiler-filled Hobbit review is going to go up later today, since the movie is now open. But you know what? To me, if you're going to release like a last-second brand-new poster on day of release, stuff like that, make it something spectacular. I look at this, it's like, I don't see anything kind of new here. The only thing, as a sweaty movie nerd, it's like, that's not a proper scale. You see the size of Smaug's eye? That's not how big Smaug is. That's wrong. That is a scaled wrong poster, so I sell it. Anyway, what's next?
A new trailer for the upcoming Hercules movie, The Legend of Hercules, has hit the web. The film stars Kellen Lutz as Hercules, the mythical Greek hero, demigod, and son of Zeus. Betrayed by his king and sold into slavery, Hercules must use his formidable strength to fight for his freedom and return to his true love. The Legend of Hercules opens in AMC theaters on January 10th. John, buy or sell this new trailer for The Legend of Hercules?
Oddly enough, I'm going to buy it. I did not like the first trailer, and I think it's silly doing a Hercules movie when The Rock is doing a Hercules movie. But I have said for a long time that I think out of all the Twilight gaggle of actors and actresses, I said 5 years from now, the one guy who's still going to have a really functioning career is going to be Kellen Lutz. I still believe that, because I believe he's more talented than what we've seen him have the opportunity to show yet. But I didn't like the first teaser, but I got to tell you, I really kind of like this treat. I didn't jump up and down and watch it 20 times, but I think this trailer was a significant improvement over the other stuff we've seen so far, and it's actually made me a little bit intrigued, which is the purpose of a trailer. So for now, I'm going to buy the trailer. Schnepp?
I'm going to sell it. I felt it, like the stink of Immortals arose into my nostrils.
I liked Immortals.
I hated Immortals, and this looks horrible to me. It just has everything wrong that I don't like in these kinds of films. Like I mentioned before in the previous trailer, like a really tiny CG shot of a city, and then all up close, kind of like low budget, cheap action shots. You know, those are 3 or 4 scenes that they shot in the ring. You know, and even the lines of dialogue that they use just pulled from every other movie. Tonight, my soldiers, we're gonna blubbity. I'm asleep, bored. Reveal the powers at the end. That way we don't have to spend any money with his electrical Zeus bullshit. Sorry. That's how it works. I'm selling it.
What's next?
Remember those Naked Gun comedies that starred Leslie Nielsen? Well, it appears Paramount Pictures is rebooting the franchise, and they've selected their new detective Frank Drabin. According to reports, The Office star Ed Helms has signed on to lead the new films. Schnepp, buy or sell Helms leading the new Naked Gun franchise?
I buy it. I think Ed Helms is a great choice. I mean, he's not Leslie Nielsen. No one can ever replace Leslie Nielsen's deadpan deliveries, but I love that kind of comedy, and I think if he's going to jump into it full force, I think it's a great idea, so I buy it.
I'm going to sell it for now. Ed Helms hasn't won me over yet. I loved him in the first Hangover, but outside of that, he hasn't really blown my socks off. I didn't really like him in The Office. I haven't really loved him in a number of the other films that I've seen him in outside of Hangover as well. And so you're right. Nobody can fill the shoes of Leslie. Just you can't. So it's unfair to compare the two, but you can at least get a little bit closer, I thought. So who knows? Helms may completely knock it out of the park. Let's hope that he does, but for now, for me, it's a sell. All right, folks, we've reached that part of the show called Mailbag. Listen, if you've got a topic or a question you would like us to address on the show, you can email us anytime at amcmovietalk@gmail.com. Now, every day we take a couple questions out of the mailbag. Ashley's got a few of them pulled out, so Ashley, what do we got?
Caleb Kelly writes, greetings and salutations, AMC Movie Talkers. My question is, do movie directors have creative control over trailers for their films? P.S. John Campea rocks.
P.S. You rock. Generally speaking, no. Generally speaking, now there are exceptions. There are exceptions, but generally speaking, the directors are more worried about putting their movie together. And then what happens is the marketing department of the studio that owns the film, they have their marketers in their marketing department. They put the trailers together. I've got a couple of friends who are Hollywood directors, and there are a number of, I've had stories told to me over, yeah, man, saw the first trailer for a movie and we hate it. So like they had nothing to do with the trailers whatsoever. But there are exceptions. But generally speaking, the creative and the marketing are like church and state in a studio a lot of times. Schnepp, you as a director, what's your experience been like with that?
Yeah, I mean, usually, even for TV shows, the marketing and publicity department of those television shows will cut the trailers, or they'll put together the promo packages and all those kinds of things. So you're like, oh, that's weird that they chose to use that shot. That has nothing to do with the episode, or things like that for TV. For movies, I'm starting to really dislike trailers because they're showing you everything. And it's like, I know that the frame rates have, increased where it's like, from the 80s, there used to be maybe like 120 shots in a trailer, and now there's like 350 shots because they're like fighting to keep the audience, especially for action films. But I find that they end up showing a little bit too much in their effort to cut around, and keep the visual pace going. So in some ways, I would hope that the publicity departments in the future make a little trailer that has nothing that really ruins the movie, but gives you the flavor, the essence of what the movie is. I mean, they've done that in a few trailers. They've shown like just cinematic shots that aren't from the film, but give you, the tone of the movie. It's a tough one. I mean, it's all about selling and getting people in seats. So you want to show them. A lot of the times you see the ending of a movie. I'll never forget Men in Black with that giant spaceship. That was the first trailer where I was like, they just showed me the end of the movie, and they did. And it's like, and that trailer, since Men in Black was so successful, a lot of the marketing firms were like, use that as a, show the ending, just a little bit of it. So I don't know. I mean, trailers are really important. They're the most important part of getting you to go see a movie. So if you have a really successful trailer, you're going to have a great opening weekend. If you have a lame trailer, you're going to have like 50 people in the seats. So it's a really important thing. So the publicity department is key. The directors don't really have that much to do with it. They can hope and pray, and sometimes the bigger name of director you are, you can actually have a little more input and say, can you not use that shot? Or I shot this just for the trailer. So.
All right, folks, well, that'll do it for us. We've run all out of time. Thank you so much for joining us in this episode of AMC Movie Talk. Listen, I want to remind you once again that you can donate now to our efforts right now to help raise money for the disaster relief in the Philippines. You can go to, you can see the URL under me, crowdrise.com/AMC Movie News Philippines, and you can donate money right now. And don't forget, we're going to have our 24-hour movie talk marathon on January 2nd. Thanks so much for donating and being a part of this with us. I want to thank the guy sitting to my right, writer-director, Mr. Jon Schnepp. Schnepp, where can people find you online?
You guys can find me at Twitter and Instagram at Jon Schnepp. And, you know, I'm raising money, but it's for a cartoon, weird unicorn barbarian thing. So it's not on the same level. But if you check out my Unicron, you can check that out. And I might even do a drawing for the Philippines Relief Fund.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
I'll do that.
And our lovely host today, sitting over there in the corner all by herself, Miss Ashley Mova. Ashley, where can people find you online?
You guys can find me on Twitter at Ashley Mova.
And you can find me on all the various social media networks, just at John Campea. Thank you so much for joining us. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't done so already. It'll keep you up to date on everything going on in the world of movie news. And, of course, our daily AMC Movie Talk show and our weekend AMC Mailbag show. Keep your eye open for our spoiler-filled review of The Hobbit, The Desolation of Smaug a little bit today. And just once again, thank you for joining us. So until next time, my name is John Campea for AMC Movie News. And until then, bye-bye.
If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to AMC Movie News on YouTube. It's free and a great way to stay updated with all the latest movie news and check out our daily show, AMC Movie Talk. Also, don't forget to check us out on Facebook and Twitter to stay in the loop for our special prizes, giveaways, and contests.